independent thoughts, independent life. This is Chad Benson.
Yes, you are, ma'am. Good morning.
And the speed limit is 40, and I was going 38, so why are you harassing me?
You are correct. I pulled you over because
you're a murderer. Yes, I started to record because you're a murderer.
You can't be on your cell phone while you're driving.
I wasn't on my phone. I was recording you because you scared me.
You can't use your cell phone while you're recording.
I can record you.
May I have your driver's license?
It's at my apartment.
It's your apartment.
It's at my home. I'm just taking my son to his.
Do you have your driver's license?
I mistakenly left it at home.
Cops deal with a lot of crap. I think we all know that. We go after them when they do something wrong, and at the end of the day, it's the stuff they deal with. We don't hear about that. We don't see that. We don't get any of that. Very rarely. That's why I say, the one thing about live PD was it was live. So you'd see people at their worst when they're dealing with police officers, and you see police officers at their level best, just trying to have a conversation with people who in many cases, you're catching them at a bad time. This lady, she lost the plot. I like how you're a murderer. Really? I am. So tell me what else you know about me. Like, that's how she starts a conversation. You're a murderer. I only had the phone in my hand because I wanted to record you, murderer.
Do you have a picture of your driver's license?
Yes, I do.
May I have it?
And can you call your supervisor, please?
I already did. He's on his way.
Good, because you're a murderer.
Okay.
And so you're giving me a cell phone ticket? Is that why you're harassing me?
Not harass. I am enforcing the law.
I have a right to record the police when they're harassing me.
By all means, but you can't do it while you're driving.
I wasn't texting or none of that.
Do you have that picture?
You scared me and made me think you were going to murder me.
Okay, well, I'm sorry you feel that way.
Well, that's not just a feeling. You're a murderer.
Okay.
It's not just a feeling. You're a murderer. By the way, she has her child in the car. What do you think the child thinks of police officers when he hears this? All cops are murderers. He's not been rude. He's not been disrespectful. He's not said anything untoward. You had the phone in your hand. If you don't like the law, tell your legislators to change the law. It's that simple. It is. You're a murderer. I was only recording because I know that you're going to murder me.
And I'm perfectly legal. And
by the way, here comes the murder.
I'm a teacher. So there.
Congratulations.
Murderer. You're a murderer. You're scaring me. You're threatening to kill me and my son.
Keep smiling. You're on camera.
You're trying to threaten to kill me. I'm not smiling. You're the one who's...
You wait for me right here, okay?
He's only citing you for using your cell phone while you're driving. That's it.
There you go, ma'am. Sign inside the red box right there.
For him being a Mexican racist. What is that name?
It's on the citation, ma'am.
Here you go, Mexican racist. You're always going to be a Mexican. You'll never be white. You know that, right? You'll never be white, which is what you really want to be.
There you go, dear.
White.
Have a good day.
You want to be white so bad.
The good news is she teaches the youth of America. How do you think that goes? You want to be white so bad, you Mexican racist. How do you deal with that? Look, the cops get a lot of crap from the media, right? They're always all bad, but never really when you think about it. There's bad apples and everything, right? But no, look, there's a few bad apples. When you think about how many times a police officer comes in contact with individuals on a daily basis, how many interactions they have on a daily basis with people of color, right? So that's black, white, Asian, purple, green, orange, whatever. Aliens fly down and they're going to, who do you think's going to greet them, right? It's not you. The cops go out there first. Why? I don't want to go out there. What if they have guns? What if they have laser beams? So, but that's it. And I wanted to start this off because I sit here and I laugh at something like this. And it's, last week you had LeBron, right? With the whole, you're next. And that guy could potentially be in trouble. He's raised like $300,000 plus on a GoFundMe for police stuff. The cop who did the fake LeBron phone call. Why don't you ask LeBron to come help you? They put up with a lot of crap. They do. They put up with way too much crap. And I've said, even the fighting and a lot of the insanity, the gross stuff they have to put up with. But that right there was just surreal. You're a Mexican murderer, a racist Mexican, and you'll never be white. And that's what you really want to be. Oh, my God. If anybody deserved to be tased, I think it was her. The good news is she's teaching the children of this country. Just to let you guys know that. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. Tweet at us. Text the program. Love hearing every single one of you. I do. Dr. Gupta, small businesses. Florida's like, we're done. It's all open. It was kind of all open anyways. But yesterday, DeSantis put it, he lit the candle on top of the cake and said, we're doing this. This is what we're doing. We're totally way all open. There is zero mandates anywhere. Enjoy your life.
Biggest issue to normalcy is the distancing issue. Whether it's a restaurant or whether it's a small business that's selling retail, how can we quickly off-ramp distancing measures? The quickest way to do that is actually just to either mandate the proof of a vaccination or a negative test. We need to introduce friction into the system. If you've gotten a vaccine, restaurants, if they can verify one or the other, they can get to 100% capacity, Joe. That is the carrot here.
Translation. So, what we need to do is get restaurant owners and everybody else that's out there to essentially mandate having a test that's negative, which is that's not worth anything, right? So you take a test today, but you don't get the information back for 2, 3, 4 days. At that point in time, you come into contact with other people, so the chance of you being positive it's probably way smaller than it was several months ago, but it's still a possibility. And the reality is, it's how can we essentially guilt people in to getting a vaccine? How about this? They already don't want a vaccine. They recognize. I've got friends who do not want a vaccine. Some for reasons other than they feel they're fit. And by the way, they're liberal. They're fit. They feel like it's not going to bug them. They've already had it. They're like, I don't need to worry about it. I'm good with it. And I have friends who are on the right side of the aisle who believe that you're going to get a microchip in there and that, right now they're trying to figure out between Bill Gates and Melinda Gates which one of them gets to have ownership of you. That's insane. And then like my aunt and part of my family who are allergic to just about everything. My aunt is so allergic to stuff that when she goes into the dentist, she has found a dentist that essentially uses pressure points and acupuncture to try to numb her. And it's really weird. They use like a clothespin and all this stuff on her ear and this because she's allergic to every single kind of cane. She has allergic reactions to just about everything. And the doctor's like, don't get this. This could potentially kill you because there's things in there that on both the DNA and the mRNA. So, but outside of that, we know who the people are. It's time to live our lives. We shouldn't be guilting them into anything, Dr. Gupta. We should be saying, hey, look, here's the deal. You know the rules. As far as we're doing 6 feet apart, if it makes people feel good, some places are still going to have masks. Some places aren't. And if you get sick, that's a you thing. But isn't that a you thing anyways? I always thought it was a you thing. If you get sick, it's kind of a you thing. Like if you go into a room full of a bunch of people who have the flu and you don't have a flu shot, you might get the flu. You might. We don't care about that. So starting to essentially try to guilt people into it is stupid. It is.
And that's what small businesses need. They cannot continue distancing. That, to me, is the policy here that's killing small businesses. We need to get to 100% capacity for them to truly normalize the economy.
Well, no, we just need to let it happen. At the end of the day, you just let it happen. We're not going to get to that herd immunity through what? Through vaccines alone. So how do you get to herd immunity? You have enough people that have caught it, who've been exposed to it, have antibodies, as well as a certain amount of people in society that have gotten the vaccine. From the time this thing hit our shores, and we were talking about it 3, 4, 5. I mean, we started hitting this thing up in December of 2019 saying, you guys got to see what's going on in China. I got buddies over in China saying they're locking down stuff like you've never seen before. And not just a little bit of lockdown. I'm talking about a serious lockdown where they're taking a city the size of Chicago and basically telling everybody you stay indoors. To this thing's months later, it's here. And I said, this thing's never going away. Not the way that people think. It's going to be endemic. Pandemic, endemic, two different things. One, it's here, but eventually it's going to go. Endemic is kind of what the flu is. So you're going to have to learn to live with this thing, through this thing, and around this thing. Now that people know that, we move on with our lives. Shouldn't be about goading people into us. Because here's the thing. Until we actually know how long these vaccines work, we're going to be going through this on a yearly basis. So the best thing is find a treatment and just allow people to live their lives. If you want to get vaccinated, great. But we're going to have this argument 6 months from now if these things start to wear off? Probably. And it's going to be all over again. So we better learn to adapt. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. Tweet at us, text the program. Love hearing from you. We're going to touch on this a little bit later. In fact, the guy that is probably been the most vocal of the George Floyd, Derek Chauvin trial juror, apparently he attended some BLM rallies, actually wearing a T-shirt at one time says, "Get your knee off our necks." Brandon Mitchell, known as Juror 52, may have put the guilty verdict into a situation where it could be at jeopardy. We're going to touch on that, what that means. Text the program. Love hearing from you. 323-538-2423. At Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. Tweet at us, text the program. Plus, Bill and Melinda on the outs. They've split up. So you've had Bezos and now Bill and Melinda. Separate ways. What's it mean? Who gets what? Who do I have to garden for? Thanks to the microchips. 323-538-2423. Raycon, best earbuds allowed. Love my Raycons. When I work out, yesterday I went and played 9 holes of golf. What do you think I did? Threw on my Raycons, was rocking out to some 80s new wave music, which of course I enjoy doing. And it was great. Just being out there. Beautiful day. Have my Raycons in. I see everybody else out there working out. What do they have? They have the ones with the white stamps. Always see them pushing back in. One person has one that, and I see her out there every day, and she's got the like headphone, like earbud things, but they've got wires to them. I don't know how you do that playing golf or working out. That's got to be annoying. You don't get that with Raycons. Discreet, stylish, and comfortable. Best noise isolating fit. 6 hours of talk time. 45-day happiness guarantee. So if you don't like them, send them back. And I'm talking about the best earbuds around. You will find nothing comparative to this in the price range. And the styles are amazing. You don't believe me? Check it out. Price-wise, well under $100. Get your earbuds now, the best ones around. Raycons. BuyRaycon.com/Chad. BuyRaycon.com/Chad. Save an extra 15% right there. BuyRaycon.com/Chad. Chad Benson Show.
No need to socially distance while listening to your Chad Benson Show podcast. 4 out of 5 experts say so.
I'm a scientist. There is no corona.
But hurry before they change their mind. You know they will. Chad's podcast found on iTunes, iHeart, Spotify, and wherever you find your favorite COVID-free podcasts.
Oh my gosh. I kind of like it. I'm not going to lie.
This is the Chad Benson Show.
Bill and Melinda Gates say they no longer believe they can grow together as a couple. In a joint statement announcing the end of their 27-year marriage, the couple says they will continue their work together at the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, which has become one of the world's largest charities, especially in the area of public health. The couple, who have 3 children, asked for privacy for the family. Forbes says Gates, the founder of Microsoft, is the 4th richest person in the world, with an estimated net worth of more than $130 billion.
It's very interesting. They're splitting up. And if you read that, you're like, I don't think they're really getting along. I think that ship sailed a while ago. He's an interesting cat, right? Like he is. He's an interesting cat. He shows signs of Asperger's, and if you read or know anything about him, he's just just an interesting guy, and she did a lot for him. And you look at that, and I just think we can't grow together. They're going to separate everything. They'd already decided this a while ago. By the sounds of it, they're waiting for their kids to get to the point where, they were old enough to understand and accept it. I mean, you live in a place called Xanadu. That's 66,000 square feet. I think they'll be all right. The fact that one of them hasn't overdosed yet is amazing. But now they're separated. And we were talking earlier. So Bezos, right? So it's interesting. Bezos, he had his little side piece or pieces, but one that he's had a relationship with. And then they split up, and then she gets married immediately. And I think Melinda's looking and going, I need something else. I need a dude. Somebody regular, right? Guy that, doesn't wear that many sweaters. I don't know. It's not very nice, Chad. You said that about sweaters. Sweaters are pretty amazing. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. Tweet at us. Text the program. Love hearing from every single one of you. I do. Gas prices on the rise.
If you drive around at all, you can probably see why prices are on a quick rise. More people traveling means more demand for fuel, and the increase isn't letting up. The Energy Department reporting the average price of regular unleaded in the U.S. is now $2.89 a gallon. In California, the average price for regular unleaded is at $3.91 a gallon, and many places are over $4 a gallon in California. Filling up an average-sized vehicle in the state can now be well over $50 a fill-up.
Crazy. We'll talk about it. What's it mean for us in the economy and other things. Chad Benson Show.
The Chad Benson Show.
Independent thoughts, independent life. This is Chad Benson.
And I'm perfectly legal, and I'm a teacher. So there.
Congratulations.
Murderer. You're a murderer. You're scaring me. You're threatening to kill me and my son.
Keep smiling. You're on camera.
You're trying to threaten to kill me. I'm not smiling. You're the one who's...
You wait for me right here, okay?
He's only citing you for using your cell phone while you're driving. That's it.
Here you go, ma'am. Sign inside the red box right there.
For him being a Mexican racist. What is that name?
It's on the citation, ma'am.
Here you go, Mexican racist. You're always going to be a Mexican. You'll never be white. You know that, right? You'll never be white, which is what you really want to be.
There you go, dear.
White.
Have a good day.
You want to be white so bad.
It's insane. We were talking earlier. This lady gets pulled over. She's a teacher. She's got her kid in the back, so super, super hot mom skills right there. Like parenting skills 101. So now the kid's thinking, oh, my God, cops are bad, right? Because that's all. You don't think that's all that kid hears about? If my kid was in her class, I'd be like, all right, we're moving to another class. You don't need this. This obviously this person's out there. But I was telling producer Phil and Anthony, people want a payday nowadays. People are like, I don't want to get shot, but I'll take an ass whooping for $500,000. Like, I'm serious. There's suicide by cop. There's also payday by cop. Don't tell me there's not. We used to joke when we were younger. Would you go around with Tyson for like $100,000? Like young 21-year-old Mike, like angrier than normal, right? Like that kind of thing where like he's lost it. We should talk about it, right? Because he used to say, he's throwing punches with bad intentions. He's not coming in there to box. He's coming there to hurt you. Would you do it? Most people are like, yeah, I'll do it. I'll do it for $1 million. No worries, man. Pay for my medical bills if I have any. Run around for 3 minutes. No, he's going to catch you eventually, right? There's nowhere to run. And we joke about that. People, I'm telling you guys right now, people are willing to take an ass whooping for $500,000. Not a problem. They're seeing money being handed out. That's what they think on a daily basis. Oh, they're just handing money out, right? All I have to do is confront the police officer, piss him off, even if I'm in the wrong, and he does something, as long as it's not pulling a gun on me. Because they already think, you're just a murderer. I saw yours a murderer. Oh, shit. Little Jimmy Stewart there. Oh, Mitch McConnell. It's like you're egging somebody on because you're looking for a payday. Do you really think that officers like, oh, he's pulling me over, he's going to kill me in front of everybody? It's insane. But a payday's not. Every one of you listening right now, you've seen some paydays out there where it's like, Jim got thrown against the car, right? And the cuffs were on too tight. And they're going to settle out of court and drop the charges for $200,000. You're like, you can do that to me. Oh, yeah, that's people, they don't want to end up dead, right? But what they do want is enough of a stink that they've got a lawyer already on speed dial. Guess what? I was abused by a police officer. What'd you do? Well, I was breaking the law, and he pulled me over, and you're going to have to see the tape. Then it becomes a big deal. People scream race. And what is it easier to do in this day and age? Just pay some people to go away. That's the world we live in now. Pay somebody to go away. It's easier. One of my good friends, she works at a huge law firm. One of the biggest. Like, the kind of law firm where it's like her clients are the city of Los Angeles and like Walmart, stuff like that. And she'll tell me all the time. I used to ask her, I said, is it just easier if somebody, they're lying, but the cost of, oh, yeah. She goes, totally. It's like, look, we know that this person's full of crap, but at the end of the day, it's easier to give them $50,000 and send them on their way than it is to go to court and pay it out, pay us $200,000 to defend it. People are looking for it. They are. Suicide by cop. Now we got paid by cop. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. Tweet at us. Text the program. Love hearing from every single one of you. So Snow White. You guys who know who Snow White is, right? Like Snow White is the 7 dwarves. It is gone and became, it's a grim fairy tale. The movie, Disney movie, came out way back in the day, 1937. We could sit here and talk about the dwarves and whatnot. I don't know if you're allowed to call them. What do you call them now? Like would you? And by that I mean I know it's Snow White and the dwarves, but would you call them that, or is that politically incorrect? Snow White and the little people just doesn't have the same. Well, guess what? Panel of four women have now that Disney's open. Let's talk about, should we even have Snow White?
Disneyland is back open in California, and it turns out they recently revamped their classic Snow White ride. But not everyone is happy about it. Now the ride ends with the True Love's kiss scene, which some argue is very troublesome, mainly because Snow White is unconscious and cannot give consent for the prince to kiss her. Of course, it is the prince's kiss, which does indeed break the curse and save Snow White's life. But the two had not previously met.
So, without consent. Oh. Did she leave any directives for her body while she's in a coma? Do not resuscitate, anything like that? Well, she didn't leave anything, so we're going to have to try stuff. We tried paddles. It didn't work. Like, remember Emergency? Didn't matter. That show emerged. Phil, do you still have that ringtone?
I do, as a matter of fact.
Producer Phil has a ringtone. Goes, I loved Emergency. It didn't matter if the kid twisted his ankle on a bike. They're taking out the paddles. Remember that? Clear, right? So they tried that on her. It didn't work. That didn't work. By the way, I'm going to be honest here. It's not like he slipped her, some some Rohypnol. Like, it didn't do any of that. Somebody else poisoned her. I showed up, bro. Nobody else was helping. Nobody else was. The paddles didn't work, right? We gave her 10 cc's of something. That didn't work. We've tried everything. Now you're upset because I kissed her? In this day and age, yes.
Have you guys ever really thought about that? So do you think this scene is troublesome now that you're thinking it through? And should it be included in this story, even if it gives kids mixed messages about consent? One other little caveat. Snow White is believed to be 14 and Prince Florian, 27 to 31. Weird.
Yeah. So that's a lot of information that I never knew.
And yeah, you know what? That was kind of the day back then. You were married off young. But what I like to say, I never knew. Of course, nobody ever knew. By the way, if you go and read some of the Grimm fairy tales and some of those dark Germanic kind of fairy tales, they're dark. There's not a lot of happy skipping and jumping. And, you go and look at Little Red. Well, there's a woodsman. Little Red, or he's a murderer. I'm not quite sure. But it's a fairy tale. Well, it's a prince, right? Here's my thing, right? So if for whatever reason I run upon a witch and she puts a magic curse on me where I'm out, and the only way to save it is somebody kissing me. That's the only way to do it. Otherwise, I'm in good health. It's okay. And even if I don't know who that person is, I give full consent now. Well, she didn't give full consent. Well, you know what? Let's just leave her in a coma, and then we'll ask her later on down the road.
I don't want to gloss over what an important element of this conversation is, and that's the idea that by actually making this a topic, we are having the conversation about consent. There's no time that's too young to really address the concerns of consent.
No, and that's totally fine. That's 110% fine, and you should do that. You as a parent should do that. But I can also say, there's also no time, no time. There's never been a better time in life to discuss the fact that there are witches that can knock you out just for eating an apple. So what am I trying to tell you? Don't eat fruit. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Don't eat. Well, that's not very good.
I think there's a bigger issue with fairy tales that I think has gotten corrected with like Frozen and newer Coco, some other films, because we always had this man saving this damsel in distress young girl and telling young girls that you need to be saved by some random man. So I think there's a lot of issues, but they're cartoons. You got to take them with a grain of salt.
Exactly. Fairy tales are creepy. Go look at some of the Grimm stuff. Ladies, talk about it here. You go look at the Grimm fairy tales. You read the real, like Disney and a lot of other places, like, oh, we're going to keep that. We're going to keep that. That's got to go, right? We're going to get this. We're going to throw this out of here. We don't need this. This, my God, what is this about? This isn't for children. This is a fairy tale for who? This is a horror story.
I think this is a little too woke if we go into changing the Disney ride, right? I think that's a little too PC. Great conversation to have, but just know that the brothers Grimm who created these way back in the day, the Ariels, the Lion Kings, all of these, they're dark. They're really dark. There's death, and that's somewhat important to kids to realize there's not all jolly good. So at some point, I like fairy tales for what they teach kids.
Yeah, because they're fun, but let me tell you guys something right now. A majority of them, from the stuff that you would like The Little Mermaid, Pinocchio, Cinderella, Little Red Riding Hood, Hansel and Gretel, Rumpelstiltskin, the Snow Queen, Rapunzel. You go and you read what they really are, and you read the full ones, not the ones the kids get, and you'll be like, whoa, it's almost like a snuff film. We can't do that, Chad. 323-538-2423. At Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. Tweet at us. Text the program. God, I missed Emergency. It's on, I think. Is it MeTV?
Yes, on Saturdays at 4 o'clock Eastern. Thank you.
That, and it's followed by Adam 12, right?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, that's right. Jesus goodness, man. I just love. You know what I noticed when I look back? Then I'm like, man, look how the streets were. They're very pristine. They look nice, but when I'd watch Emergency, and they would just paddle everybody. They're just driving around, just people sitting at the bus stop. Boom, clear. 323-538-2423. At Chad Benson Show's your Twitter. Tweet at us, text the program. Oh, Chad, you said earlier not to eat fruit. I was kidding. Or was I? You know what you should eat, though? Best stuff around. Last night, I had my Omaha steaks. Mom's Day's coming up. Give her something that she's going to love, which is incredible food. It is. Summer's on the way. What are you going to do? You going to grill? I grilled last night. A little steak, a little filet, and some burgers. Delicious. Delicious. Incredible. So right now, Let's Go Grill Package. Get it today. You're going to get 4 pounds of free burgers and $20 off your first order. So this is incredible. All right? It's getting warmer. You want to be outside. We cleaned the barbecue up this weekend. It looks immaculate because these things are incredible. What do you get? 4 5-ounce butcher cut fillets, 4 6-ounce boneless pork chops, 4 boneless chicken breasts, 4 kielbasa sausages, 4 individual scalloped potatoes, 4 caramel apple tartlets, 1-ounce jar of seasoning, free 12 5-ounce Omaha burger steaks. It's a $43 value, and it's yours. Omaha. Oh, my Lord. OmahaSteaks.com. OmahaSteaks.com. The keyword to save big, get those free steaks and $20 off is Chad. What are you waiting for? You're going to absolutely love it. I burgered it up last night with a little filet. Quite frankly, I fed myself like a king, and it was worth it. Go to OmahaSteaks.com. OmahaSteaks.com. Use the keyword Chad at the top there, right there. Just type it in. And you'll see, save big, 12 free Omaha Steak burgers. You're going to love those, and $20 off. OmahaSteaks.com, keyword Chad. Chad Benson Show.
Helen Keller is a Nazi terrorist that is a male. Is that what you're telling me right now?
Yeah.
Are you thinking of Hitler?
Who's Hitler?
Vaccines work, but only the Chad Benson Show is 100% effective against stupidity.
Do you know what D-Day is? D-Day.
A person? A rapper?
God, Karen, you are so stupid.
Check us out on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and wherever you find your favorite woke-free podcasts. This is the Chad Benson Show.
Marvel fans going crazy getting a sneak peek of the upcoming Phase 4 for the Marvel movies. In the 3-minute trailer that dropped Monday, we see the first ever footage of Eternal.
When you love something, you fight for it.
Directed by now Oscar winner Chloe Zhao, with an ensemble that includes Angelina Jolie. That'll be out this November. Marvel also revealing the name of the Black Panther sequel, calling it Wakanda Forever, and dating it for July of next year. There was also a cryptic nod to the possibility of an upcoming Fantastic Four movie, the trailer ending with, quote, "See you at the movies," in the hopes of getting fans excited to return to theater.
Yeah, that'll be nice. I still have yet to see a movie. I might do that this week. I'm thinking Wednesday night I might go see a movie. We shall see. Tossing it around. Wednesdays or Thursdays usually nights I stay up here, and now there's stuff coming out. I think I might go see a movie. It's a possibility in the theater. We're talking earlier about fairy tales. And the fact that, you go and you look and all these fairy tales that politically incorrect and people are angry about it and Snow White and all this stuff. Can I just tell you guys, like, we look at some of these things and we think, oh, it's like he kisses her. In some of these original Grimm fairy tales, he didn't kiss her, by the way. He impregnates her. Gambastias Basil, 1634, the sun, the moon, and the Thalia. It's a king who impregnates the sleeping maiden, who gives birth to twins. When the queen finds out, she sends her cook to get the children to kill, cook, and eat them. But he doesn't do it. It's insane, some of this stuff. Like Frozen is the Snow Queen. It's like, it's a Hans Christian Andersen story. You start reading it, you're like, that's not what I saw in the movie. And the movie was singing and dancing, and everybody was like, and get away, and this little kid's blind because he's got glass in his eye. He's outside. She's evil. It's not the same. It's not. Just letting you guys know. Well, at least it would be gritty. It's like Breaking Bad, but fairy tales. 323-538-2423. At Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. Speaking of witches and evil, Witchy Poo died.
Oh, joy! Oh, joy! I've got my boy! They're putting on a show!
Yep. HR puffing stuff. Can't get enough. She was 93. No, I think it was 93, something like that. 96. She was older. But Billy Hayes was just amazing. Incredible. And if you ever watched Witchy Poo and HR puffing stuff on a Saturday, we could be friends. We could be. That kid had a flute that talked. Chad Benson Show.
This is the Chad Benson Show. Independent thoughts, independent life. This is Chad Benson.
Experts hope to get in the 70% range to reach herd immunity, but what if we don't reach that threshold because of all the vaccine skeptics?
I'm one of the maybe small number of people who is optimistic that we can get there. But if we take your scenario, we don't get there. We may be where Israel is. Israel probably does not have herd immunity, but Israel has incredibly low number of infections, and averaging about 1 death a day. And I think we can drive infection numbers really, really low, even if we don't hit herd immunity, as long as we keep vaccinating more people.
Dr. Ja. We're going to get to some form of herd immunity. Some states will be better than others. It's never going anywhere, at least not anytime in the near future. It's endemic, not pandemic. The coronavirus, since this thing started, I don't want to toot my own horn, but I'm going to a little bit. We started talking about it in December 2019. Buddies over there in China were like, hey, dude, some stuff going on over here. We started going, some weird things going on over here. Right? You'd see it on the Yahoo, CNN, just like a small little glimpse right there in the corner. Like, there's a worrisome, bug and, virus and Wuhan. People are like, where's Wuhan? My buddy's like, dude, they shut that whole place down. I'm like, what? And he goes, yeah, it's like, imagine shutting down Chicago. Not just shutting it down, making everybody go indoors. You can't come out. Like fencing it off. Like super dystopian creepiness. And not like because there was some sort of, free thinker there. No, because there was this thing. And we started talking about it. And then when you started learning more about it, I said, I have a feeling this thing's going to be endemic, not pandemic. And you hear more and more people say that. Well, what's that mean? It's here, right? And what did I keep saying? You got to learn to live with this thing, through this thing, around this thing, and above this thing. We have skeptics here, yeah, absolutely. But we also have people that have gotten it and gotten well. Herd immunity isn't going to be achieved solely on vaccinations. Look at the flu. We don't freak out about the flu. And that's kind of what this is going to become, another variant, if you will, not so much of the flu, but another variant of something that we need to pay attention to during a certain time. And there's going to be times when, there's going to be some outbreaks or something. You're like, ooh, that's kind of ugly in a place or two. But we're not going back to where we were. And we also recognize, okay, there are key things that we have to watch for, which should have been common sense. The elderly, the vulnerable. Let's go over this again. The elderly. And by that, I mean, every day I go play golf. You guys know that? There's a guy out there. He's 90-something. He and I chat all the time. Former Marine. He didn't get it. He didn't get the the deal. He's like, I come out here and play golf every day. And all he does is putt. And he'll putt for 6, 7, 8 hours. Just enjoys it. Being out in the sun, enjoying himself. He's not frail. There are people out there that are in their 50s or 60s and they're struggling. But we're talking about predominantly people well into their, I would say, really their 70s and 80s who have the potential of getting really, really sick and dying from this, which is what we saw a lot of. And people that are vulnerable, compromised immune systems, going through cancer treatments, people that are extremely obese, people that have had problems with smoking, and they've got diabetes, and they've got those people. Yeah. The rest of us are going to really have to learn to live with this thing, through this thing, and around this thing. That's the reality of this.
Is it because so many of the people that are being vaccinated are in these vulnerable populations, people who are overweight, people who have pre-existing conditions, people who are older, smokers? So many of them are getting vaccinated. That's why the death rate is going down so much more than the vaccination rate is going up?
Yeah, absolutely. So if you look at the pandemic in people over 65, it's mostly over. Very few people over 65 getting infected and dying. This pandemic now is really among young people and unvaccinated people.
Yeah. And young people are going to be fine. Unvaccinated people, they know the risk. They're taking it, and they're willing to take it. So let's get on with our lives. It's the way it should be. You know what the risk is. You're willing to take it. We're fine with that. Let's get on with our lives and learn how to get out there and return to what is a normal world, pre-pandemic, where we should be. I don't want to be, I'll say it every day, I don't want to be beholden to people because the government thinks we need to protect them. If they're not willing to get something that's available to them, that is their choice. I got zero problems with that. And I don't think they have a problem with it either. Then why should we continue to live in this meandering world of, well, they're not getting it, so what can we do? What can we offer them? How can we coax them into getting it? For some people, it's going to be time. For some people, it might be them getting sick or seeing someone they know get really sick and potentially die. But the chances even of that happening are still slim to none, because when you go and look at the actual numbers of people dying from this, when all is said and done, it's still, it's not the death sentence that they made it out to be. I have a kid who comes in here. I call him a kid. He's 30, but for me, like a kid, based on my. And he comes in here on Fridays, and he interns with me, and he works a little bit with me. He's a really nice guy. His dad died of COVID. It's one of the factors. I go, did you get the vaccine? He's like, no, I don't think I'm going to. See? I'm like, well, that's a choice. I got zero problems with it. I don't. A lot of other people do. And I think that's the problem. Stop worrying about other people. Worry about what it is that you need to worry about in your life. If you're vaccinated and you feel safe, and I think most people do, it's time to start living. It's time to start just getting on.
No problem with vaccines, but the messaging is psychotic. So if you live in Brookline, Massachusetts, you have to wear a mask outdoors. If you live in Florida, the Surgeon General says you don't have to wear a mask anywhere. And a lot of this feels like it's more about control than science. If the vaccine is 94% effective, why do we still have to wear masks outdoors? Why do we have to wear masks inside? And that's also part of the messaging problem, because if you get a vaccine and nothing in your life changes, and I still have to wear a mask everywhere, and people still have to wear masks everywhere, there has to be an impetus and a reason to get vaccinated, to get what you want.
She's right, Meghan McCain, about the control side of things. It's like we talked about it yesterday. It's like, oh, yeah, we're going to have a vaccine section at a sporting event, but you have to wear your mask. Well, then why do I want to sit here then? Like, that's the dumbest thing in the world. So I could sit anywhere else in the stadium. Yeah, but those people might not be vaccinated. Or they might be vaccinated. And at this point, I got the thing, so it's about me. You're not offering me anything new. You just tell me I got to sit over here with other people that have been vaccinated. It's the dumbest thing in the world. It really is. Because it's about control. It's about nannying people. It's about overthinking it. And this is endemic, not pandemic. And I'm going to stress that over and over again. We need to learn to live with this thing, through this thing, around this thing, and above this thing, and get back to a normal way of life. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. Tweet at us. Text the program. Love hearing from every single one of you. They're getting a divorce. There's plenty of money. A ton of money. Like we're talking billions of dollars. Billions and billions and billions of pounds. What happens? Where are they going to go? Is the foundation going to break up? Bill and Melinda Gates.
What I think is more important is their legacy in the public's eye. They have this foundation, the largest charitable foundation in the world, doing all sorts of wonderful work. I think they're going to be more concerned about how they look and how the work of their foundation looks.
Yeah, I think that's it. She's pulled away from him because most people, they didn't know a lot about her, even though she was always kind of at his side. But he was still Bill Gates, and you're not. And she's kind of doing her own thing. And I think at the end of the day, she's kind of, I think she wanted something else. I think it's as much about her. Like, she wants something else. I'm like, I get it. Right? Like, there's nothing wrong with that, isn't it? They said that they can't grow together. I don't know what that means. I'm like, did you plan each other? I said, no, they can't grow. Their relationship can't work. There's a ton of money in this, though. Now I got to figure out which one of them gets custody of me with the microchips in me. Producer Phil, you got your shot, right?
I did. This is very concerning to me.
What did you get, Pfizer or Moderna?
I got Pfizer.
Oh, see, you're not even. So Bill probably has you, and I'm going over with Melinda, and I don't even know what she's like, right? It's like she could be mean for all I know. I think she's okay. I think we're going to have a party. I think over there it's going to be a lot of sweater vest. Stuff like that. I think Melinda's going to be a little bit more freeing. We're going to have much more of a party with our microchips in us now. And somebody's going to totally tweet and text at me, oh, yeah, that's really funny, Chad, but you watch. Okay, I will. I will. And by the way, for those of you keeping score, I just want to always remind you of this. If for the sake of argument that you're right, that they wanted to control us using microchips, and they wanted to do all these things because they have some sort of nefarious plan. I'm not quite sure what the nefarious plan is. And you didn't get the vaccine. You're taking on people that have that kind of power. What do you think is going to be the end game for you? I hope you fight back. But it always amazes me. What was the thing I heard the other day? Oh, yeah, that was turned into cannibals. I'm like, why would you do that? Like, why would you want to turn people to cannibals? Like, hey, you know what? I'd love to be a ruler one day so I could turn everybody into zombie cannibals. And then I wouldn't have anything to rule. My goodness. 323-538-2423. At Chad Benson Show's your Twitter. Tweet at us. We have some great audio of a lady who is angry at a police officer for doing his job and the insanity of which she spews her BS is amazing. And we've coined a new phrase here. Suicide by cop. Now it's payout by cop, right? It's payout by police. Because I think a lot of people are looking for it. They're looking to get in. They're leaning into the opportunity to get the ass whooped to get paid. 323-538-2423. At Chad Benson Show's your Twitter. Tweet at us. MyPillow has my slippers. They're awesome, comfortable. They come in two styles. You got moccasin, you got slip-on. So it's this leather, suede on the outside, faux fur on the inside. 3 different levels of the sole. So you can wear them indoor, outdoor, all day long. You've got the patented MyPillow fill. You've got this amazing, incredible, it's this memory foam. And then they've got this new gel made out of soybeans right here in the United States of America that is just awesome. 40% off, 60-day money-back guarantee, 1-year limited warranty. Try them. You're going to love, love, love them. 40% off. Different colors, different styles. Go to MyPillow.com. Use that promo code Benson. Check out all the deep discounts. So everything from the Giza Dream Sheets to the towels to the mattress toppers and, of course, the MyPillow. But grab these things. You will not be disappointed. My slippers from MyPillow, 40% off. MyPillow.com. Promo code Benson. Save 40% right there. Promo code Benson. MyPillow.com. Chad Benson Show.
Welcome to Chad. No, not the country. The institution. The Chad Benson Show.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Ignition. Liftoff.
Now it's time to find out what's trending. What's trending? Yeah, what does that mean? I mean something, right? Like it's trending on the old internet. What's trending? Let's take a peek, find out what's trending on the old interwebs. Start on Google. Bill Gates, last 24 hours, his wife and him splitting up. We're 2 million plus searches to find out who exactly is Melinda Gates. How long have they been together? And, of course, the most important thing, who gets all the stuff? Dogecoin. Producer Phil, it's over 50 cents. Damn it. Damn it. Dogecoin, kids. People are excited about the meme cryptocurrency. Initially designed as a parody currency or cryptocurrency, it surged. It's up today. It was one time worth 5 cents in March. Now, 51 cents. The meme coin is currently valued at over 67 billion. May the 4th be with you. See what I'm doing there? See? May the 4th, because today's May, and then the 4th instead of force. Whatever. Critical race theory. People are talking about us. Almost 100,000 searches. Utah parents advocates weigh in on critical race theory education. Big debate. Should there be critical race theory? I think no. I don't. Doesn't mean we don't talk about race. I just think the way that a lot of these things are structured, it's just, I look at this and I think to myself, yeah, I'm going to give a hard pass. I am. I'm going to give a hard pass. Head on over to Twitter, where the arguments always begin, because that's what it's all about, right? It is. Facebook, apparently tomorrow, is going to announce whether or not Trump will be allowed back on said platform. And I'm wondering at the same time if they're going to announce when he'll be suspended again. I don't think that's very nice, Jeff. Just don't. Oh, my goodness me. Jason Bourne is trending, and the reason is because Ted Cruz has criticized a CIA recruitment video promoting diversity within the agency. He says, we've come a long way from Jason Bourne. He wasn't real, and settle down. The same people that are criticizing him are also saying, I definitely think we should do something about, Snow White and, the Seven Dwarfs. First of all, it should be Snow White and the Seven Little People. We should change their names. And secondly, he kissed her without consent. So everybody just needs to settle down, mate. Settle down. And a rail overpass collapses in Mexico City. At least 23 have been killed. How many injuries are unknown? These numbers are right now, they have it at 65. I have a feeling it's going to go up a lot more. And it's an ugly situation. Ugly situation. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. Tweet at us. Text the program. This teacher loses it on a police officer. When you hear this, you just shake your head and go, are you blanking kidding me? And Rick Santorum wants to kind of apologize, but kind of maybe not, but then kind of, we'll figure it out. He's in trouble. Aren't we all? Chad Benson Show.
Chad Benson Show.
Independent thoughts, independent life. This is Chad Benson.
Being a cop, right? You're a cop, you're automatically a bad dude. Bad gal. Well, that's not true. I think most of America's fine with that. The problem is the media, in a lot of ways, isn't. The media is not fair to cops that do a damn good job and make really difficult decisions in the heat of a moment in a split second. But they're always looking for an angle. And on the other side, there are people on the right that will defend the police no matter what. And the reality is it's a tough job, man. You deal with people on a daily basis where you're pulling people over, right? So you're pulling somebody over. They're not happy, right? For several reasons. And the majority of the people, like 99% of the people, 99.9%, they're just getting a ticket or a warning. That's it. That's all they're getting. It's a ticket or a warning. They're frustrated, right? They're late for work. The kids are screaming in the back. They just, there's a lot of stuff. And then the other parts of their day, they're dealing with people in horrible situations, homeless people who are struggling and are mentally not all there for whatever reasons, whether it's drugs or mental illness because of drugs, whatever it is they're dealing with. Same thing that goes with domestic disputes and things of that nature. You're dealing with people that always are struggling at that moment in time. But now it's like cops are all evil. This is a lady who's a teacher. I think she's in L.A., which is even scarier, who decides as she's getting pulled over, she's going to film it. But she started filming it before that because she was worried about his murderous rampage he was going on.
Yes, you are, ma'am. Good morning.
And the speed limit is 40, and I was going 38, so why are you harassing me?
You are correct. I pulled you over because
you're a murderer. Yes, I started to record because you're a murderer.
You can't be on your cell phone while you're driving.
I wasn't on my phone. I was recording you because you scared me.
You can't use your cell phone while you're recording.
I can record you.
May I have your driver's license?
It's at my apartment.
It's your apartment.
It's at my home. I'm just taking my son to his.
Do you have your driver's license?
I mistakenly left it at home.
So she mistakenly left it at home. That's fine, right? I was telling producer Anthony a couple weeks ago, I got pulled over at my tags. My tags were at a P.O. box, and I just hadn't got them, and they were late, but I'd already paid them. Because at the time I get off, sometimes I just don't have time to get them. It's closed, and so... but I didn't have my license, but I gave him, because I had memorized everything, gave it to him, and he looked it up. The cop wasn't, it was nothing about it, right? You heard, so he's going to be cool about that. And I got to be honest, this is probably happening far more than we realize, because she's just about ready to get going. Now, remember, he's already getting ready to start his murderous rampage. And he sounds like it. He's like, man, if anybody sounds like he's getting ready to go postal, it's this guy.
Do you have a picture of your driver's license?
Yes, I do.
May I have it? And
can you call your supervisor, please?
I already did. He's on his way.
Good, because you're a murderer.
Okay.
And so you're giving me a cell phone ticket? Is that why you're harassing me?
Not harass. I am enforcing the law.
I have a right to record the police when they're harassing me.
By all means, but you can't do it while you're driving.
I wasn't texting or none of that.
Do you have that picture?
You scared me and made me think you were going to murder me.
Okay, well, I'm sorry you feel that way.
Well, that's not just a feeling. You're a murderer.
Okay.
Well, first of all, is he a murderer? I'm just curious about all of this. Are you a murderer? Because you have now told everybody he's a murderer. It's not just a feeling. She knows for certain, deep in her bones, with her kid in the back, and she teaches people. So think about that. This guy here that pulled her over because of some arbitrary law that he designed. No, he didn't design. He didn't come up with it. Legislators came up with that. Like the law, you change it. How do you do that? You vote in people that find the laws stupid as well, and you advocate to change some stuff. You didn't like this. He's a murderer, period, case closed, end of story. That's it. It gets better, kids. It gets better. She teaches. Can you believe that? So it's insane.
and I'm perfectly legal, and I'm a teacher. So there.
Congratulations.
Murderer. You're a murderer. You're scaring me. You're threatening to kill me and my son.
Keep smiling. You're on camera.
You're trying to threaten to kill me. I'm not smiling. You're the one who's...
You wait for me right here, okay?
He's only citing you for using your cell phone while you're driving. That's it.
There you go, ma'am. Sign inside the red box right there.
For him being a Mexican racist. What is that name?
It's on the citation, ma'am.
Here you go, Mexican racist. You're always going to be a Mexican. You'll never be white. You know that, right? You'll never be white, which is what you really want to be.
There you go, dear.
White.
Have a good day.
You want to be white so bad.
She's awesome. Happens all the time. I think far more than people realize. You hear about it every once in a while, and people have to bring it up. But you know what? They do a crappy job. They do. Somebody posted something the other day. It's like, well, you know, there's no rap songs called F the Fire Department. No, there isn't. There isn't. But you know what? The fire department doesn't come and try to put out, a gunman. Quick! We got something going on over here. Get over there quick. We need to get the hose. We need the ladder. No, you don't hear that. They're not coming for the domestic dispute. They're coming because of a medical emergency. They're coming because of a situation where something's gone wrong. They're not trying to uphold the law. They're trying to put out your fire. There are bad cops out there, no doubt about that. And there are people, I think, generally, that started out as good police officers that over the years have become hardened. They struggle with PTSD. They become bitter, and they've got real problems, and they need to get off the streets. I think we can all have those discussions. When you hear something like that, though, you just sit there and you think to yourself, I bet that happens a lot more than people realize. And she teaches. And what are you teaching your kid, by the way? All cops are evil. All cops are bad. And this guy is a racist Mexican murderer who wants to be white. Nice. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show's your Twitter. Tweet at us. Text the program. Love hearing from every single one of you. Adam Schiff was talking about American Family Plan, which sounds like, hey, I've got the greatest thing for you. It's the American Family Plan. You can do it in 3 easy payments of all of your money.
The knocks against the president from conservatives and from some Republicans is that the president is dictating to the American people what kinds of families they should have.
I think that's nonsense. So he's dictating what kind of families people should have because he wants there to be affordable childcare. He's not saying that, that people need to leave the home to go to work, but he is saying that people should have the freedom to do that. And it's also good for the economy if people have the opportunity to join the workforce and don't feel they can't because there's no affordable childcare.
I have no problem. Again, we've talked about affordable childcare. We've talked a lot about, especially the jump start, the early getting kids into preschool. And there's a lot that goes into that. It's not just if we get kids into preschool early that everything's going to be great, because a lot of what happens is successful people tend to be intact. Oh, Chad. And that doesn't mean that mom and dad are together, or mom and mom, or dad and dad, not to offend anybody. It just means that there's a participation in life. They've made education a very important part of their life, and that helps out. But definitely getting into those things earlier helps tremendously. But I listen to this, and I just start laughing.
They're grasping at straws because what the president is posing is so popular. Do Republicans really want to say, therefore, lead in our pipes? They're against early childhood education. They don't want to make college affordable. They don't think people should be able to take care of a loved one when they get sick. And so they come up with these phony straw man arguments. But I'm back with the president. I think this is the right direction for the country.
Look, once again, it goes to the touchy-feely side of things. But it's, of course, everything is popular. If I'm going to tell you, I'm going to give you everything you've ever wanted and you dreamed of. I'm going to give you everything. I'm going to give you free a lot of stuff. Who's not for that? You know what's popular? Right? You go out tonight and say, hey, I'm going to give everybody in America $10,000. Tax-free. Do what you want with it. That'd be pretty popular as well. Wouldn't it? I think it would be. It'd be very popular. But we never asked the question, who's going to pay for it? Don't confuse popularity with progress and the right thing to do. This is a very popular thing to do. Does it mean it's the right thing to do? There are some things inside that he's laid out in his American family plan that I'm like, I got no problem with that. But there are other things where I sit there and shake my head and go, no, that's going to be ridiculously expensive. And I think at this point in time, you're throwing a lot of stuff against the wall because you figure if I throw 20 things out there, even if we only get 3 or 4 through, that would be great, which is very politically savvy. But when you listen to Dip Schiff, because his name's Adam Schiff, when you listen to him, well, I think it's a very popular, again, popularity. Who's paying for the popularity? The taxpayers. More and more articles are coming out. If you got all this stuff through, it's not just the wealthy they're going to pay for this. Be prepared. 323-538-2423. At Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. Tweet at us. Text the program. Rick Santorum. Tis. What were you thinking?
We came here and created a blank slate. We birthed a nation from nothing. I mean, there's nothing here. I mean, yes, we have Native Americans, but candidly, there isn't much Native American culture in American culture. It was born of the people who came here.
We discovered this land. We're here. Look at us. We did this. It was just, hey, people, you move. We're celebrating. We found this place. No, you guys need to move. Move. Get out of the way. Wow, my goodness. Yes, we found this place. Well, we were already here. No, but we found it. Yeah, but we were here. But you don't understand. We found it. No, there's not a lot of Native American culture. And the reason's pretty simple. Because we won. So to the victor go the spoils, and they get to write the history. That's the reality of it.
I cannot believe the first words out of his mouth weren't, I'm sorry, I said something ignorant, I need to learn about the history of this country. Didn't talk about the suffering that Native Americans have had to deal with in this country. It was, Rick Santorum, really? Did he actually think it was a good idea for him to come on television and try to whitewash the whitewash that he whitewashed?
Yeah, Don Lemon. Yeah, he was, of course, angry about that. And it was not a good situation, right? Like, that's not a smart thing to do. The way he said it. He could have come out and said, look, that didn't sound right. That's not what I meant. But this day and age, there's no miracle. There's no, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. That's not quite what I meant.
Sitting in my office, furious. I'm sorry. It was just, it was so egregious and insulting, and everything that we talk about the founding of this country. Europeans did not found this country. It was here. The Native Americans had this country before the Europeans came. Yeah, the Europeans conquered the country. They colonized it. It had nothing to do with the founding of this country. And he should recognize that. It was like for Black Lives Matter, it was like Native American Lives Matter moment for me watching that.
He's so dramatic. And the Academy Award goes to Don Lemon for being overly sensitive for everything. It was a stupid thing to say. In this day and age, stupid plays well. It is. And yes, they didn't find it. And then the funny thing is, you go, well, who was here first? I'm not talking about us. I'm not talking about the crackers and the Europeans. Who else was here first? Well, was it because you had the whole thing with the bridge and the people walked across, and was it that? Well, it could have been that. It's like everybody's got a before time. Well, before that, it was a dumb thing to say, Rick. Let's just be honest. Stupid thing to say. 323-538-2423. At Chad Benson Show's your Twitter. Tweet at us. No matter how stupid it was not, you're a racist, murdering Mexican cop who will never be white. That lady, she wins. She's insane. She'll probably get a promotion. She's an L.A. school teacher. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show. Twitter, home title lock does what? Protects your title. Protects your home, protects your equity. Right now, faster than any of the other cyber crimes going on is home title theft. So if you think like maybe, I don't know, stealing your identity is growing faster, it's actually home title theft. Because all they do is forge signatures. It's so much easier than doing a lot of other things. And then they know they've got equity, especially now in your home. And what do? They start borrowing against. By the time you realize it, they're gone. The equity's been spent. The money's gone. And as far as all the people that loan the money, they just think you did it. You owe them money. And then you're really screwed. How do you protect yourself? You get Home Title Lock. Get 24/7 protection to alert you to anything that's taking place on your title. Right now, go to HometitleLock.com. Use code radio and check and see if you've been a victim. Get 30 days free protection. HometitleLock.com, code radio. HometitleLock.com, code radio. Chad Benson Show.
To be free. I am not a terrorist. I am not Antifa. I am not a sex slave that wears masks.
Don't be a cutie pie.
Probably sit around and cook some soups and eat bread and desserts and just get all fat and sassy.
You're ruining my life, man! Yeah, you haven't seen anything yet.
You're listening to The Chad Benson Show.
The Pfizer vaccine was the first authorized by health regulators, and Chief Executive Albert Bourla made clear during an earnings call it is boosting profits.
The Pfizer-BioNTech COVID-19 vaccine contributed $3.5 billion in global revenues during the first quarter.
For the full year, Bourla said Pfizer expects to make $26 billion in revenue from sales of the vaccine. The FDA is expected any day now to authorize it for use in 12 to 15-year-olds, and Bourla said Pfizer would ask for authorization in September to give the vaccine to younger children.
A lot of money. What? They're not doing it out of the kindness of their heart? Nope. Money. But what did that want to have success do? Yeah, it's great for society, which is awesome. But at the end of the day, that being successful, that brings money with it, you come up with a solution. You want to be wealthy. You want to be rich. You find out what basically annoys people, frustrates people, makes people sick, and you find a solution to that problem. And if you do, you'll be surprised to realize that you will make money doing that. Salespeople. What are they doing? They're selling a product of some sort. You have a problem? Well, guess what? We have a solution to that problem. You need a new car? Here's a car. Not a shock. $26 billion. It's good money if you can get it. Like, that is good change, baby. 323-538-2423. At Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. Tweet at us. Text the program. This is the Chad Benson Show.
This is the Chad Benson Show. Independent thoughts, independent life. This is Chad Benson.
The end of the pandemic may be in sight, with the weekly case average nationwide dropping below 50,000 for the first time since October. But experts say the country may not reach herd immunity because of slowing vaccination rates and variants.
I heard that. No. We're not going to get to the point where there's zero. If that's the end game, it's going to be a nightmare. We're still not going to, like, we don't get to the point of zero with the flu, because we're not going to. This wasn't really a bad flu season. No, because nobody went anywhere. Kids are home. Who spreads the flu? Kids. Kids are home. They're not going to spread the virus through the computer, right? A sickness through the computer. So if you take them out of a place where they're going to hang out with each other potentially catch the flu, what ends up happening? Doesn't spread. We started tracking this thing on the crack team here, the Chad Benson Show. We are a crack team, kids. So I'll let you guys know this. Producer Anthony, producer Phil, on top of things like you could not believe. We started looking at this December 2019. Said, something going on. Something's happening to China. That's friends over there, do business over there. They're saying, dude, they're locking stuff down in this place called Wuhan. If you don't know where it is, so I know, you know, where Wuhan. I didn't know how big it was, like Chicago. Oh, what's going on? Well, they're locking it down, like big time lockdown, like ching, 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 wing, wing, wang, like wow, like super. That's like the gates going up, you know, shing. Oh my Lord, people aren't getting out, aren't getting in, they're staying there. But it's already too late, right? I mean, they locked it down. There's a reason for that, because of what was happening. By the time it got here, and the time it had passed through Europe, Italy in particular, a lot of other places, and you started reading more and more about it, you started studying, that's what I do, and I was talking to people, I got friends who were doctors, and, you know, being in this business, I'm very blessed, you get to talk to a lot of people, and I said, this thing's going to be here for a while, right? Like, this is going to be something. And yeah, that's what it became. It's going to be endemic, not pandemic, meaning it's not going anywhere. At least not anytime in the near future. Now, eventually, they could come up with something that mitigates it to the point where you get a shot once every 5 or 10 years, and the chances of getting it are slim to none. It'll be more like, but it doesn't seem to be doing that. And we've got now a very divided world based on the fact that who you are, right? Who you vote for is who you identify as. Means you may not get it. You also have a lot of people out there like, well, you know what? I'm very fit. I don't need any of this stuff. It's fine. I have no problem with any of those things. But we've also said, endemic, not pandemic, not going to reach herd immunity the way that people think through vaccination alone. It just isn't going to happen. But are we going to be in a much better position? The answer is simply yes. We're going to be in a much better position. We're already there. You can feel it. You understand it. You are looking around going, you know what? It does feel a lot different. It does feel better. It does feel like it's almost back to normal.
Experts hope to get in the 70% range to reach herd immunity. But what if we don't reach that threshold because of all the vaccine skeptics?
I'm one of the maybe small number of people who is optimistic that we can get there. But if we take your scenario, we don't get there. We may be where Israel is. Israel probably does not have herd immunity, but Israel has incredibly low number of infections, and averaging about 1 death a day. And I think we can drive infection numbers really, really low, even if we don't hit herd immunity, as long as we keep vaccinating more people.
Dr. Jha, right there. 110%. So it's just going to be like something that's here. We're going to have to learn to live with this thing, through this thing, around this thing, and above this thing, and that's what's going to happen. People out there who don't want to get a vaccination for whatever reason, I really don't care. I don't care if you want to wear a mask or don't. I think at this point in time, they're completely stupid, and I think we can all agree with that. We're walking around wearing a mask after you've been vaccinated, and you're thinking to yourself, why am I wearing this stupid thing that, by all accounts, according to, I don't know, the latest one, it really doesn't do a lot. And every one of you listening, you're not throwing away your mask every day, right? You're not. Oh, yes, I am, Chad. Okay, maybe you are, doctor. But outside of that, are you? No, probably not. You're probably not. You're probably re-wearing it. You got a cloth mask. I have one with ninjas on it. I have one with the Cardinals, Arizona Cardinals. That one is well over. I got this a week before the draft last year. And it was from SeatGeek, and I still have it. Sure, it's pretty sweet now. No. It's time to get on. It's time to move ourselves back to a normal way of life so we can get rocking and rolling and stop the theater and be cautious about people who may potentially be in a position, if they couldn't get right? Just like a peanut allergy. You couldn't get a vaccine for whatever reason because you have allergies. So that's one thing. But for the rest of us, come on.
Is it because so many of the people that are being vaccinated are in these vulnerable populations, people who are overweight, people who have pre-existing conditions, people who are older, smokers? So many of them are getting vaccinated. That's why the death rate is going down so much more than the vaccination rate is going up?
Yeah, absolutely. So if you look at the pandemic in people over 65, it's mostly over. Very few people over 65 getting infected and dying. This pandemic now is really among young people and unvaccinated people.
There you go. That's who it's mostly about. I'm not worried about the young. Not. You're 23, you're healthy, and you got it, you're going to be fine. Well, Chad, some people die. Some people do die. Look, I'm not here to diminish that. Like, but you, I don't hear you with the flu, right? Like, I don't hear, like, people are going, man, did you hear about that college kid that died from the flu? You never hear that. Well, it's because it's not political, right? Like, there's no politics in the flu. Nobody's sitting around going, those SOBs with their flu trying to control us, right? There's no politics in the shingles vaccine. I can't believe that guy wants me to get the shingles vaccine. Could you believe that? The shingles vaccine. What are you, a liberal? But there was politics in this, and both sides played it. Both sides ran with it, but we're all sick of it, and it's time to move on. Get the shot, don't get the shot. I don't think we should have to beg you, right? Hey, tomorrow night at the baseball game, if you show up in the third inning and you get a shot, we'll let you run the bases. It's like, it's who's doing that? Like, I wasn't going to get the shot, but now that I get to run the bases at Yankee Stadium, I'm willing to do it now. So stupid. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. Tweet at us. Text the program. It's over. It's over.
Bill and Melinda Gates say they no longer believe they can grow together as a couple. In a joint statement announcing the end of their 27-year marriage, the couple says they will continue their work together at the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, which has become one of the world's largest charities, especially in the area of public health. The couple, who have 3 children, asked for privacy for the family. Forbes says Gates, the founder of Microsoft, is the 4th richest person in the world, with an estimated net worth of more than $130 billion.
Or $70 billion. I don't know how much she's going to get. I don't know how this thing breaks out. Because that's what most people, let's be real. Do we really care about what happens to their foundation? No. Do we really care at this moment in time about their well-beings? We don't. They're going to be fine. I think we recognize that. I always say that. I love that they always say, we're asking for privacy. What else would you ask for? Hey, we're asking that you guys be nosy as hell. If you guys could do that, it'd be super. No, that's stupid. What do people really want to know? How much is she getting? Right? Like, how much? How much is she getting half? Is she getting half? Like, what does he really even have? Like, is it all in the foundation? They're raising money too? Who gets to control that? Who gets Xanadu, that giant house they have? That's what people are asking. Nobody's like, I just hope they're okay. Really? Were you like not sleeping last night? Because I can't sleep now that Bill and Melinda are separated. First thing that came to my mind, all right, who cheated? Who was over this first? Judging by what I read, I felt like she was kind of over this. I could see that. He's a quirky dude. Like, take away the billions. He's a quirky dude. He is. He's an interesting character. Go look and read, if you want to, some of the stuff that they used to have to tell him to do, like, about bathing and stuff like that, because he's just he's out there. And that's that fly, close to the sun kind of things. You go look back in history of people who changed the world in a lot of ways, you go look at Beethoven and Van Gogh, go look at Newton, right? Like Newton, he was a bit Well, the Tesla. Like, Tesla was brilliant, but he wasn't a businessman. He wasn't, and he was kind of out there in a lot of ways. Look at Elon Musk. Like, little bit. It's probably, there's a shelf life there. So, but all we care about is, like, how much money do you think she's going to get? It's like the same thing with the Bezos when they split up. Like, do you think she's going to get like $50 billion? Do you? Like, because nobody feels sorry for him. Oh, that love affair broke. It's over. They're like, they'll be fine. He can find somebody else. Hell, he could build somebody else. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show's your Twitter. Tweet at us, Rough Greens. My dog Doodle's obsessed with Rough Greens, and I'll tell you guys a story last night. You guys know I've been giving K9 Vitasmart from Rough Greens to my dog Doodle. He nipped at me last night. Tried to take the bowl away from him. He was licking it up. I was like, all right, enough. And he doesn't see very well, but he was that excited about it. He loves that stuff. He's happy, he's healthy, he's bouncy, and it's amazing. K9 Vitasmart's not dog food from Rough Greens. It's not. It is a supplement. Just put it on top of their food, and they eat it up. It's got omega-3, 6, 9. It's got probiotics, vegetables, vitamins, minerals, all the things your dog's food's lacking, because your dog's food is meant to sit on a shelf. It's not meant to be living. And that helps bring all of that stuff out. And it has changed my dog Doodle's life tremendously, because his life is still, well, it's still here. His joints don't ache. His arthritis is virtually gone, and his coat is better than it's ever looked. Right now, Rough Greens wants you to try it before you buy it. You go to roughgreens.com/Chad, ruffgreens.com/Chad. Call 833-MY-DOG-77, 833-MY-DOG-77. Get a free bag of Rough Greens before you buy it. You pay for shipping, that's it. Free bag, you pay for shipping. Roughgreens.com/Chad. Chad Benson Show.
Serving up talk radio medium rare and dripping with irony. It's Chad Benson.
Yeah, opening up the library in San Francisco. That's all the homeless people. Like, finally, we get internet access and we go in here and bathe and have sex. Chad. It's the last time you were at a library, honestly. All right, producer Phil. When's the last time you were there?
Oh, a long time ago.
Yeah. I'm going to say decades. I couldn't remember last time I was at a library. I can't. I was probably... I don't know, 20 plus years, maybe. So there's no concerts, right? And there's just now opening some things in California. But they're going to open the library. Right on. Come on in. Nobody showed up. It's a perfect place. If you want a social distance, that's probably the place to do it. Did I wake you? Do you guys have books? 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. Tweet at us, text the program. Love hearing from every single one of you. I do. Absolutely. Immigration. She speaks. Who is she? She is the Vice President of the United States of America. Talking about immigration. Kamala Harris, who's supposed to be, I thought she was supposed to be handling the border, then she wasn't, then she is. I'm not quite sure.
The United States is committed to supporting the vision of the people in the region, in their need for relief, in their hope for opportunity, in their calls for justice.
Why? I mean, I'm just going to be pretty Richard here, but why? Why do I have to support somebody else's vision when the people in their country, in particular their government, doesn't support whatever vision they have. Not that we shouldn't be caring, not that we shouldn't be a nation that gives and that beacon on the hill, but why do we have to support other people's visions because they are floundering? I heard yesterday that the thought process is that they may start giving out anywhere between $2 and $4 billion to several nations throughout the Central American region, the Triangle, to try to help them. I'm like, why would we do that? How much money have we pumped out to those countries and it just goes and disappears? I'm curious. I think we have every right to ask a question of that.
People whose homes have been washed away by hurricanes. People who are parents who have sons who have been threatened by drug cartels. People who have daughters who have been targeted by human traffickers. People who do not have enough to eat. People who are out of work.
Again, why? We can be kind and caring and totally understandable. But we have places in this country could use some of that. I think it's a fair question to ask. Not trying to be mean, just being honest. Some people take it as mean. Chad Benson Show.
The Chad Benson Show.
Independent thoughts, independent life. This is Chad Benson.
2017, she told Diane Sawyer that even though her views on transgender issues didn't line up with the GOP platform, she was a loyal Republican to a point.
You mess with my community. You don't give us equality and a fair shot. I'm coming after you.
But just days into her campaign, Jenner is now being accused of betraying the transgender community. Over the weekend, she seemed to side with a recent Republican-led wave of legislation to limit transgender rights in at least 31 states, telling TMZ she supports barring trans female athletes from girls' sports in schools.
No, what she said is it's not fair. Let's put it out there. She doesn't think they should participate because it's not fair. Not they can't participate, but maybe there needs to be something else that needs to be done because it's not fair. And let's be also honest. We're talking about adolescent boys who are young men who transition to women who in many cases have played sports and are very good at those sports. And by transitioning and then playing in the girls' area of the sporting world, they still have all of the physiological inside, right? Their bones are bigger, their muscles are bigger. None of that's changed. That it gives them an unfair advantage. We're not talking about girls who've decided that they're through body dysmorphia, right? That they're now female. And you know, they're now male, so this was a girl, now she's male, and she's going to go participate on the basketball team, and she's going to find out, he's going to find out that you're not hearing that. It's one way, because it's just the natural side of things. But I love how it's spun, like somehow she's anti-trans. No, I just think, here's the thing though, right? Isn't she in a tough position? Because she's also a woman, so she's anti-trans, pro-woman, or you're pro-trans, anti-woman. And this happens in a very small portion of sports in this country, in particular in high school. Very small. But yeah, it's the fact that we're even talking about like that kind of stuff. I just sit there and laugh. Like, that's why she's in trouble? That's why people are questioning whether or not that she's good at being trans? You're not good at this. And if anybody could know about sports at a high level and being trans, I'm going to go out on the limb and say it's Caitlyn Jenner. Just going to throw it out there that maybe Caitlyn Jenner has an idea. I could be wrong. Caitlyn might, but that Bruce person, it's not Caitlyn. No, but you see where I'm going with this? Like, gets it. But I like how they twist it like, she hates trans people. You're like, okay. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show's your Twitter. Tweet at us, text the program. Speaking of hate, this teacher's fantastic. Like, this is a teacher where you're like, she's a pretty good teacher. She is. She is. If you like teaching hate.
Yes, you are, ma'am. Good morning.
Which is, and the speed limit is 40, and I was going 38, so why are you harassing me?
You are correct. I pulled you over because
you're a murderer.
Because
yes, I started to record because you're a murderer.
You can't be on your cell phone while you're driving.
I wasn't on my phone. I was recording you because you scared me.
You can't use your cell phone while you're recording.
I can record you.
May I have your driver's license?
It's at my apartment.
It's your apartment.
It's at my home. I'm just taking my son to his.
Do you have your driver's license?
I mistakenly left it at home.
Okay, so she left it at home. But look, I'm going to be honest with you. Right? Like, if he's a murderer, probably doesn't care about your driver's license. Like, if he's a murderer and he's like, man, I'm a murderer guy. I'm just doing murdering stuff. But before I do that, I got to make sure everything's like, there's paperwork. It's like, I don't think that's it. So there's an officer in Los Angeles pulls over a lady who's not happy about being pulled over while using her phone, texting, driving, not supposed to be doing that. But she says, I only did it because you were going to pull me over and murder me.
Do you have a picture of your driver's license?
Yes, I do.
May I have it?
And can you call your supervisor, please?
I already did. He's on his way.
Good, because you're a murderer.
Okay.
And so you're giving me a cell phone ticket? Is that why you're harassing me?
Not harass. I am enforcing the law.
I have a right to record the police when they're harassing me.
By all means, but you can't do it while you're driving.
I wasn't texting or none of that.
Do you have that picture?
You scared me and made me think you were going to murder me.
Okay, well, I'm sorry you feel that way.
Well, that's not just a feeling. You're a murderer.
Okay.
You have to ask yourself your question. Like the patience of this guy is tremendous. I'd be like, so how did you know that I'm a murderer? I mean, how did you know, ma'am? How did you know? How did you know? Like, you're just sitting there going, wow. Now, she brings race up in this, and it's spectacular. It is. It is so spectacular. So far, let's go over what we know. Murderer, absolutely. It's a police officer that pulled her over on something, by the way. Most cops, they'll tell you, yeah, they don't really pull you over for that stuff. But they don't make the rules. They just have to enforce them. So pulling you over, she can already decipher that he is a racist and a murderer. Racist and murderer. It continues.
And I'm perfectly legal, and I'm a teacher. So there.
Congratulations.
You're a murderer. You're scaring me. You're threatening to kill me and my son.
Keep smiling. You're on camera.
You're trying to threaten to kill me. I'm not smiling.
That.
You're the one who's...
You wait for me right here, okay?
He's only citing you for using your cell phone while you're driving. That's it.
There you go, ma'am. Sign inside the red box right there.
For him being a Mexican racist. What is that name?
It's on the citation, ma'am.
Here you go, Mexican racist. You're always going to be a Mexican. You'll never be white. You know that, right? You'll never be white, which is what you really want to be.
There you go, dear.
White.
Have a good day.
You want to be white so bad.
You can taste it. It's just, who are you? What gives you the right? You yap your trap like you're a murderer. Okay, who did I kill? Tell me. Tell me right now. Who did I kill? If I killed somebody and I'm a murderer, who did I kill? We'll wait. Please, explain it to me. Explain to me. That's what I would say. So my deduction of this is what we've been talking about throughout the day is there is suicide by cop. That's pretty famous. You know, people who want to go out, but they're going to rampage. potentially taking out their pain of their life on the society at large and all of that insanity that we see. And then eventually their goal is to go down in a heap of gunfire, suicide by cop. That's their goal. The goal at the end of the day is what? To die. But I think there now is settlement by cop. What can I do to piss you off? Because people are like, I don't want to get shot. Right? I don't want to. But I'll take an ass whooping for $500,000. Right? Right? I don't want that. But, if you want to throw me on the hood of the car and slam my head a couple times, right? Make sure we get it all on video. Maybe say something stupid. I'll $500,000. Yeah, I might do that. And I think people are goading cops into that more and more. You got to see the stuff I get sent by police, and by people who don't like the police every day. It is insane, some of the stuff. And they're all bad. That uniform is a Klan uniform. I mean, it is just, I'm like, how do you live with your, like, every day you are looking for something to be angry about. And this lady found it in this racist Mexican murdering cop who's none of those things that she alleges. She didn't even say allegedly. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show's your Twitter. Tweet at us. Text the program. By the way, speaking of cop, I don't know if you guys saw this. So the Derek Chauvin trial is over, or is it? Well, according to reports that are coming out, that one of the jurors lied about protesting with Black Lives Matter. There are pictures of him wearing a "Get Your Knee Off Our Necks" t-shirt at a rally, which would, for all intents and purposes, as we said, put this thing potentially in jeopardy. And I said it only takes one jury to hang the jury as far as that we're not going to get this thing done, or to say no, and one to ruin potentially everything. What happens from here, I don't know. I will say that if I'm his attorneys, I'm going there at this moment in time saying, really? And by the way, the person in that we're talking about, juror, I think it was juror number 52, his name is Brandon Mitchell. He's been the most outspoken of the 12 jurors on this entire thing. And he's been out there, and, we don't know a lot about a lot of them, but he's been all over. He's done interviews. He's done all kinds of things. And it's one of those situations where you're going to start to ask yourself, if you're not only his attorneys, but the judge and even the prosecutor, all right, what do we do now? What do we do now? He said, Brandon Mitchell, yeah, I was at the event, but he doesn't recall wearing or owning the t-shirt. Well, unless it's Photoshop, that's you. But you lied about those things, right? First, right, he'd said he'd never even been to D.C., and then he said, well, yeah, but then there was the opportunity to go to D.C. And now you're in a situation where if you are a prosecutor and you've prosecuted this, it's not hard to go, we had an impartial juror. And I had the right to, we had a partial juror who these over here seem to be like they were all about this. We haven't found anything out about this guy here, and he's been the loudest in there. And he was talking about how he talked people into things and how this thing could have been done in a minute. And I have a right to an impartial jury, don't I? And this guy was anything but that. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens on this, but I would not be surprised if something comes at it, at least a retry on appeal. I mean, I would. So this is going to be very interesting to see how this thing plays out. But I said it only takes one. And in this day and age of everything is everywhere, when it comes to your pictures, when it comes to everything, eventually it's going to come out. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. Tweet at us, text the program. Love hearing from every single one of you. Car Shield gives you 24/7 roadside assistance, a rental car for free while your car's in the shop, and should it go in the shop, you choose said shop. Right? They get them paid directly. So you can take it to the place that you feel comfortable with. You can take it to the place that you know they're going to get the job done absolutely right. They're not worried about, let's get this guy in and out, or this gal in and out. We don't care what it looks like or how it works as long as it just rolls out of here. Nope. Take it to the dealership. Take it to your family mechanic. And that is something that is huge. Over 1 million drivers have used Car Shield and trust Car Shield. Why don't you do the same? It's America's #1 auto protection company. Go to carshield.com right now, carshield.com. Use code Benson to save 10%. Look at all of the things that they have available. They have plans start as low as $99 a month, from protecting your electronics like your GPS and stuff like that, all the way up to, hey, full coverage for everything. Protect your car, protect your wallet, protect yourself with CarShield. Carshield.com, code Benson. Carshield.com, code Benson saves you 10%. A deductible may apply. Chad Benson Show.
Irreverence? Yeah. So what? It's the Chad Benson Show.
Some new Star Wars content on this Star Wars holiday, May the 4th.
I want Clone Force 99, found and wiped out.
Star Wars The Bad Batch hits Disney Plus today. The animated series is a spin-off of The Clone Wars, featuring the voices of D. Bradley Baker, Ming-Na Wen, and more. You get a 70-minute premiere episode today, and new episodes every week starting this Friday. Also new this May the 4th, there's a Simpsons Star Wars crossover short animated film. That's called Maggie Simpson in The Force Awakens from its nap. It's also on Disney Plus.
Yeah. You're going to watch anything Star Wars when it comes to cartoons, just watch what Family Guy did with it. It'll spell everything out Star Wars-wise that you ever need. You're like, that's pretty much what it was. The opening is spectacular. I think it was the third one, where he was just basically saying, look, this sucks. We didn't really care. We even let the FedEx guy do a joke, and he still thinks the baby's called Stevie. It's like, they told me if I didn't do this, because it made him so much money. So this is what he put on the beginning of the Star Wars. I think it was the third. They did Star Wars, and then they did Empire Strikes Back. Then they did Jedi on Family Guy, and it made him a ton of money. And he said, look, if I told him I wasn't going to do this, they said, we're not going to let you do your movie. It's like, I like Star Wars, right? I'm normally not a big Alien. I like, aliens are cool. Like, I do that. Star Wars, as a kid growing up, I enjoyed it. I wasn't as into it as a lot of other people are. People get excited about it. Yeah. It's okay. It's okay. I'm more Aliens and Predators than I am Star Wars. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show's your Twitter. And part of that as a kid growing up, because this is my weirdness, you had Star Wars and then you had Alien. And I used to think, then after seeing Alien, even as a youngster, was I like 10 or whatever, 9? And then Star Wars and Empire, I'm like, why do that thing looks like a badass monster. That looks like a puppet. I'm not afraid of that. That thing would scare me to death. That is a puppet. I can make that with a sock. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show. It's your Twitter, your Instagram, all those amazing things. We learned a lot today, kids. We had fun. We do that. That's what we're about. We can inform. We can be entertaining. We can have opinions. Let's try to be somewhat kind to each other. Not saying you have to be best friends, but let's be less Richard-esque. Check out all of the social media that we've got. We got a plethora of it. YouTube to Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. You guys have a great day. It's Tuesday, so therefore, go get yourself some tacos. Night, Jack.
This is the Chad Benson Show.